Few artists in contemporary music have managed to combine commercial success, cultural influence, and personal reinvention as powerfully as Katy Perry. With her unmistakable voice, imaginative visuals, and emotionally resonant songs, she has become one of the defining figures of modern pop culture. Her journey, however, did not begin under bright lights or sold-out arenas. It began with uncertainty, persistence, and an unwavering desire to express herself honestly. Katy's rise reflects more than fame. It reflects the evolution of an artist who refused to fit neatly into any box. Over the years, she has built a career that blends playfulness with depth, spectacle with sincerity, and confidence with vulnerability. Whether dominating charts, designing unforgettable stage moments, or speaking openly about personal growth, Katy Perry has consistently reminded audiences that true artistry is rooted in authenticity. Her story continues to resonate because it mirrors the experiences of countless people striving to define themselves in a world that often pressures conformity. From a conservative childhood to creative freedom, Katy Perry's early life was shaped by a striking contrast between structure and imagination. Raised in a conservative household where music and self-expression were closely guarded, she grew up surrounded by strong values, yet quietly felt a pull toward a wider creative world. While those early boundaries offered stability, they also stirred a deep curiosity about identity, emotion, and artistic freedom. As she began discovering secular music and performance, Katy realized creativity could become of its own, a way to explore who she was and who she wanted to become. Her first steps into the music industry were far from smooth. She faced rejection, uncertainty, and long stretches of self-doubt that tested her resolve. But those early struggles proved essential. They taught her resilience, patience, and trust in her own instincts. Instead of silencing her ambition, obstacles sharpened it. Over time, Katy learned that her voice mattered, not only as a singer, but as a storyteller. What began in a tightly defined world gradually opened into a space of creative freedom, setting the foundation for the artist she would become. The breakthrough. Turcat changed everything. Katy Perry's breakthrough marked a defining shift in her career and introduced a new energy into mainstream pop. When she stepped onto the global stage, audiences were immediately drawn to her bold sound, vibrant personality, and unmistakable presence. This success did not happen overnight. It was built on years of persistence, experimentation, and learning from disappointment. What truly set Katy apart was her openness. Her willingness to combine catchy pop hooks with themes that felt playful, honest, and emotionally resonant. She wasn't simply releasing music. She was presenting a fully formed artistic identity that celebrated confidence, individuality, and self-expression. Almost suddenly, she went from chasing opportunities to commanding them. Yet even as fame accelerated, she stayed focused on creating work with meaning and longevity. Her breakthrough became more than a career highlight. It became a statement of purpose. It showed that pop music could be colorful and thoughtful, entertaining and emotionally grounded. That moment launched Katy into global recognition, but it also established something deeper: her commitment to evolving creatively while remaining connected to her audience. Crafting anthems that inspire millions. One of Katy Perry's greatest strengths lies in her ability to transform emotion into anthems that resonate across generations. Many of her songs have become more than chart successes. They have become personal soundtracks for listeners navigating confidence, heartbreak, growth, and self-discovery. Her music often explores universal experiences, finding inner strength, embracing individuality, and learning to rise after disappointment. Delivered through uplifting melodies and vibrant production, these messages feel hopeful rather than heavy. In concerts around the world, audiences don't just listen to her songs, they sing them together, turning them into shared affirmations. Katy has a gift for making vulnerability feel empowering and for reminding people that joy and struggle often coexist. Over the years, her catalog has continued to evolve, reflecting new perspectives and emotional depth. She experiments, takes creative risks, and adapts without losing the warmth that defines her voice. Through this balance, she has built a body of work that uplifts, comforts, and energizes, proving that pop music can entertain while still speaking meaningfully to the heart. Reinvention as a creative philosophy. Katy Perry's enduring presence in the music industry is closely tied to her embrace of change. Rather than remaining attached to one image or era, she has repeatedly allowed herself to evolve, artistically, emotionally, and visually. Each phase of her career reflects a different chapter of her life, shaped by new experiences, lessons, and creative curiosity. For Katy, reinvention is not about erasing the past, but expanding upon it. She approaches creativity as an ongoing conversation with herself and her audience, welcoming growth rather than resisting it. This openness has led her to explore new sounds, collaborate widely, and view performance as a living form of expression. Fans have watched her experiment, reflect, and rebuild, often in full public view. Through this process, she has shown that change is not instability, it is awareness. By allowing herself to shift with honesty, Katy has remained relevant while deepening her authenticity. Her career stands as an example of how reinvention, when rooted in self-understanding, can be one of the most powerful forms of creative strength. Fashion, color, and visual storytelling beyond her music, Katy Perry has built a reputation as one of pop culture's most imaginative visual storytellers. Her fashion choices are rarely accidental. They are playful, expressive, and often symbolic, transforming appearances into creative narratives. Through bold colors, unexpected designs, and theatrical elements, she turns clothing into an extension of her artistry. Rather than following trends, she frequently reshapes them, using style to communicate mood, emotion, and individuality. Her looks often evoke joy and fantasy, yet they can also reflect reflection and personal growth. Importantly, Katy's approach to fashion is rooted in freedom. She treats style as a creative language, one that invites experimentation rather than conformity. Whether performing on stage, attending public events, or sharing moments online, she consistently presents fashion as a space for imagination and authenticity. This visual courage has become one of her defining signatures. It reinforces her identity as a multidimensional artist and reminds audiences that self-expression can be colorful, evolving, and deeply personal. Confidence, body positivity, and public presence. Katy Perry's public presence has increasingly come to represent openness, warmth, and genuine self-acceptance. Rather than presenting an untouchable image, she often shares moments that reveal humor, vulnerability, and everyday humanity. Through interviews, performances, and creative projects, she has spoken candidly about personal struggles, emotional growth, and shifts in self-perception. In doing so, she helps normalize the idea that confidence is not something you either possess or lack, it is something you build over time. This transparency has strengthened her connection with fans, many of whom see her not just as a performer, but as someone navigating change, uncertainty, and self-discovery alongside them. Katy consistently encourages people to embrace themselves fully, imperfections included, and to view growth as a lifelong process rather than a final destination. Her influence does not come from projecting perfection, but from practicing presence, the courage to show up honestly, even when that means being vulnerable. By doing so, she reinforces a powerful message. True confidence grows from self-understanding, compassion, and the freedom to evolve without apology. Life beyond the stage. While Katy Perry's career continues to unfold on some of the world's biggest stages, her life beyond the spotlight reveals a grounded and deeply reflective side. Over the years, her experiences with love, partnership, and motherhood have added new layers to her identity, shaping not only who she is, but how she understands purpose and fulfillment. She has often spoken about the lessons relationships have taught her: patience, honest communication, emotional awareness, and the importance of vulnerability. Becoming a parent, in particular, marked a profound shift in her perspective. It reminded her that success is not measured solely by numbers, milestones, or applause, but by presence, care, and genuine connection. These personal chapters have gently influenced her artistry, bringing greater maturity, sensitivity, and emotional depth into her creative choices. Fans have noticed this evolution in both her music and her public reflections, where themes of growth, compassion, and balance increasingly appear. By sharing glimpses of her life away from the stage, Katy invites audiences to see the human being behind the spectacle, the woman navigating love, responsibility, and self-discovery alongside fame. This balance between global recognition and private meaning underscores an essential truth in her story. Fulfillment is multidimensional. It is built not only through ambition and achievement, but through relationships, reflection, and the ongoing willingness to grow in both public and deeply personal ways. A role model for individuality and growth. Katy Perry's influence extends far beyond chart-topping songs and sold-out performances. Throughout her career, she has modeled what it truly means to pursue creativity without sacrificing authenticity. Rather than presenting herself as a finished product, she has openly embraced change, showing that growth is not about abandoning who you once were, but about understanding who you are becoming. Her journey invites audiences to view evolution as continuity, a natural unfolding shaped by experience, curiosity, and courage. Whether she is speaking about artistry, perseverance, or self-worth, Katy consistently highlights the importance of listening inward rather than measuring success by external approval. This message resonates deeply, particularly with younger audiences who are navigating questions of identity, purpose, and confidence. By celebrating experimentation and personal expression, she positions herself not as an untouchable icon, but as a person continually learning and evolving. Her openness about challenges and transformation reinforces a powerful idea: authenticity is not fixed, it is practiced. Through emotional honesty, creative risk-taking, and a willingness to grow in public, Katy Perry has become a role model not for perfection, but for progress, reminding fans that becoming yourself is a lifelong, courageous journey. The lasting legacy of Katy Perry. Katy Perry's legacy is shaped not only by chart-topping success or bold visual moments, but by the deep emotional connection she has built with audiences around the world. Her music has soundtracked moments of celebration, healing, heartbreak, and self-discovery, becoming part of people's personal stories. Through her presence, she has encouraged joy alongside vulnerability, imagination alongside honesty. She has shown that pop stardom does not have to come at the cost of sincerity, and that reinvention can be an act of self-respect rather than escape. As her career continues to evolve, Katy remains a symbol of creative freedom, an artist who embraces emotion, color, and individuality without apology. Her influence is visible in the way fans celebrate their uniqueness, use music as a form of emotional expression, and redefine success in deeply personal terms. Ultimately, Katy Perry's journey reminds us that artistry is not about reaching a final version of oneself, but about continually becoming. Through resilience, openness, and fearless creativity, she has shaped a story that continues to inspire across generations. Conclusion: becoming, not arriving. Katy Perry's journey is ultimately not the story of a pop star who made it, but of an artist who never stopped becoming. From a tightly structured childhood to a career defined by color, emotion, and fearless self-expression, her life reflects the power of choosing authenticity over comfort. Every phase of her evolution, musically, visually, and personally, reveals a woman willing to question herself, challenge expectations, and grow in public view. Rather than clinging to one successful formula, Katy embraced reinvention as a creative philosophy, proving that true longevity is born from curiosity and emotional honesty. What makes her legacy enduring is not only her chart achievements, but the way her music has lived inside people's lives. Her songs have celebrated confidence, comforted vulnerability, and reminded listeners that joy and struggle often walk side by side. Through openness about her insecurities, relationships, and inner growth, she has dismantled the illusion of perfection and replaced it with something more meaningful: presence, compassion, and courage.